Do you see what I see? There's a cattail waving in front of me. That always means be on guard. Anyway, he was just enjoying an amazing bath for 20 minutes, and I love watching my I love watching cats take a bath, and I love watching this one in particular. They're so relaxed when they're doing it. It's not like, God, do I have to clean myself again? And I just cleaned this part yesterday. It's just this beautiful engagement of diligence and patience. Anyway, oh yeah, the topic this week, I started with that crazy line from Spirit where it said, I've said that ye are gods, and the things that I do, you'll do, and even greater things, even still. And it's a radical and wild line to consider. And we sort of arranged a couple of topics during the week and possibly a process that you might want to engage just to kind of help remind us of who we are and where we are in this process. And it is a process. We're all in the process of a spiritual evolution, even whether we know it or not. There's an evolution. I mean, I believe firmly in the theory of evolution. I think it works perfectly in the realm of metaphysics and spirit as well. We're evolving spirits. And if that's the case, it means we've been at this for a very long time, and we will be for a very long time. But there's a continuous, undeniable, uh, unstoppable upward sweep of consciousness. Now, I'm of the opinion that that upward sweep of consciousness can be accelerated, and it has to do with a cooperation and a seeking on our part. To some degree, if we're spiritual beings, we've been dropped into the muck, if you will, the thick, gooey medium of time and space. I'd like for you to consider that time and space is sort of a thick, gooey medium that spirits have been dropped into. I wonder if you've ever seen this occasionally on one of those science shows. I know a lot of you like them science shows. They'll show a bullet being shot into like a thick kind of gel that they actually use to test the trajectory and the forensics of gunshots. But as the bullet, the bullet, it's filmed in extra super slow motion, but the bullet's hauling ass, so to speak, technical term. And when it hits the big chunk of goo, it slows down. I'm sorry, I love you. Anyway, I'm going to pay for that. But we're spirits that have been dropped into thick, gooey medium of time and space. Imagine a buoy, when you were a kid and you went to the swimming pool, there were those buoys, those lines of buoys that crossed the pool, the place where you weren't supposed to go, which was the only place that was interesting for me is to go to the side of the pool I wasn't supposed to go to. But if you pulled those buoys down into the water, uh, it got harder and harder to pull them down. And if you let them go, they'd rocket back up to the surface, which was hilariously funny, especially if you did it right underneath one of your friends, right underneath the most sensitive part of their body when they weren't looking, and the buoy would rocket. Oh, no wonder I'm paying some karmic cost at this point. But think of ourselves as infinitely buoyant spirits. And when we were born, man, we dropped into the muck of time and space, so much so we forgot who we were. We got dropped into a particular familial, cultural, religious, marketing, commercial, existential system. And man, it was thick and gooey down there. And we got caught, we got trapped. I'm also thinking of the ancient insects that managed to wander into amber like 50 million years ago. And we have these beautiful screenshots of insects from 50 million years ago that are preserved perfectly. Now, that's all of us. And the thing is, we're coming up out of that muck. There's no doubt about it. But why wait? Now, when we die, and I've got bad news for us, we are going to die, but it's good news because to some degree, we're going to evolve and be released from the time-space compression of this life. And so there is a very slow evolution going on. The great yoga sage Yogananda commented, it takes about 1,000,000 years of human life to evolve and to self-realize. But he said, once we remembered who we are, once a soul undergoes an essential moment of clarity, if you will, and remembers it's a divine being having a material experience, there's a very rapid quickening, acceleration that can happen inside of us. the buoy gains speed, it gains freedom, and the buoy of our spirit is going to breach. Ever seen a dolphin or an orca or a whale breach? And the extreme freedom that comes from coming out of the thick, gooey medium of time and space. Now, maybe you happen to be watching this on YouTube and you go, "Hey, Martha, come listen to this guy. He's crazy." But, go ahead and think that. But um, the greatest spiritual story, in my opinion, is the prodigal son, where the prodigal son, of course, is a great spirit, a great child of God, and gets caught up in the muck and loses his way and gets tempted by things, but just says, this sucks. I'm going back home, and reaches up his hand and starts the slow trudge back upward. But the greatest part of the story, of many great parts, is that God, love, source, infinite, higher organizing wisdom, rushes out to meet him and grab him and kiss him and love him and bring him back home. That represents the acceleration, the buoyancy of spirit on its journey back home. So, as much as we were drawn into the muck, and the muck is also fun. It's great to play down here. There's some cool games to play and some great people to meet. There's no doubt about that. We can remember that we're infinite spirits at the same time. We don't have to wait for later. We can remember that we are gods, and we can all continue to grow and evolve and pay attention. I'll see you all tomorrow. Please come tomorrow. It's our last meeting before Christmas, and so we don't get to meet again until December 26th. So it'd be great to see you as part of our gathering tomorrow and hear from you. See you tomorrow.